It's a story that I saw there again on one of the sites, and it was talking about. Um, it was funny because it said, a brother shouldn't have to ask anybody for approval or something like that, and it was the story about me. Finally being accepted in the WWE. I wouldn't say finally being accepted, but getting the that stamp of approval from one of the boys. And the story was I had to ask for permission to dress in the locker room. Now, first of all, I've never had to ask for permission to dress in any locker room around the world, around the country that I've ever been in professional wrestling. But in WWE, it is there was a seniority, a hierarchy when I first got to WWE. Guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like guys like The Rock, guys like The Undertaker. These guys did dress in a different little small area. It was called the TV locker room. It's where the cameramen dress, and it's actually their locker room, and they invite the senior guys to actually dress, where they are, because it's a little bit more room, and it's kind of like a little kind of like a fraternity thing. And then I remember one day I was dressing in the locker room with all of the boys, which is if you know WWE's roster. It's a huge roster. It's a bunch of guys, and we got a pretty big locker room. But there again, it's a bunch of guys in that locker room, or you find you somewhere to dress. And I remember the Undertaker saying, "Hey, Book, why don't you come dress over here with us?" And that was the TV locker room, and I was like, "Wow, okay, cool." I finally got a chance to see what the TV locker room was about. And I finally felt like, man, okay, these guys have accepted me here. So obviously, man, I might be doing the right thing. That's what that was about more than anything. I've never once had to ask anyone if I could dress inside the locker room. That's just a story that's out there that people looking to try to, I don't know, make the black man look like he got to, look up to somebody or feel like, I don't know, he's got a, boot lick or whatever to get to the next level.
Right.
That's never happened with me. And everywhere that I've gone in this business, I was accepted because of the person I was and what I brought to the table and how hard I worked. And hopefully, somebody listening to that, they can grab a hold of that and realize, man, kissing ass ain't going to get you nowhere. And that's one thing Booker T has never done throughout his lifetime. So I just want to clear that story up right there, because people always looking for clickbait. They're always looking for a story to sensationalize and make it sound like it's something that is really not. And there again, I was honored to be asked, to be a part of the guys in that TV locker room, because there again, felt like I had made it.
I just saw what's his name? Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was just doing an interview where he had something similar, occur with him, where he was on Howard Stern. He was talking about, his wife, and he was just saying, I was in a bad place at the time in my marriage. I wasn't happy with myself. I was drinking. And he made kind of an offhanded comment saying, like, if I would have stayed in that situation, my drinking probably would have gotten worse. And he was just talking about his state of mind at the time and, the things that he was going on. And then every internet site runs, Ben Affleck says ex-wife drove him to alcoholism, when that wasn't the story. The story was, I was in a bad place with myself.
Exactly.
And I couldn't be a good husband because of where I was. It didn't have to do with my wife driving me to alcoholism.
Yeah.
It's just, but once they get the click, that's all they care about. Nobody care. They don't care about the accuracy of the story. They don't care about citing it. They don't care about presenting the information in the right way. They just want to get the one click. So if you can sensationalize something with, hey, WWE made the black guy have to ask permission to get dressed in a locker room. Well, all of a sudden,
WWE,
you got a story.
Yeah, exactly. The racist company, and it's always been that way. Even Booker T had to ask to dress in the locker room. Are you kidding me? When actually Miz was the one who couldn't dress in the locker room.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about that, and he said one time he had to dress in a public restroom in the arena, and a kid who was in there said, "Aren't you the Miz?" and he's putting his boots and his gear on and stuff. Poor guy. Seriously.
Wait a minute. Damn it. He's making that story up.
That's what I remember him saying this. Somebody find the interview. I swear that this was the story. He had to go change in a public restroom in the arena.
Oh my God, man.
In the arena.
If that's true, man, it's crazy, man. Another story. Another story out there. When I was talking just last week here inside the Hall of Fame, we was talking about, I was talking about guys thinking about going and having a match with someone. And you know, and I didn't equate that story to any one person. And people saying I was talking about Kyle O'Reilly. And I'm like, I'm not talking about Kyle O'Reilly. I'm talking about anybody in general. If you're in this business, okay, let's get it straight right now. If you're in this business and you're thinking about certain things, I always tell my guys, know why you're in this. Don't come into this thinking that this is Hollywood and you're a big star and man, the fame and the fortune and all of that. I say, if you look at this wrestling business and a lot of businesses, but this wrestling business in general, because it's very, very short window, if you look at it as anything other than a job, you can find yourself saying, man, what the hell happened and how quick did it happen? And man, what am I going to do next? You look at this thing like it's a job. And you might end up at the end of the day making some money, taking care of your family, putting yourself in a position to parlay this into whatever you're going to do next. Because like I say, no one can bump forever. So at the end of the day, it's not going to be about a match. And if you guys don't understand that and want to equate that to, certain people, I understand that. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about being able to walk away from this wrestling business, this thing that I've loved for over 30 years. But for me, the most important thing was to be able to walk away from it, still being able to play catch with my 11-year-old boy. Hopefully one day being able to walk my daughter down the aisle opposed to wheeling myself down the aisle. We've seen the stories how this business can literally make you, but at the same time, we've seen how this business can break you at the same time. Look at the Dynamite Kid stories, and there's so many more stories about the guys that wanted to go out there and have that match. Look at the just say, for instance, the Chronic problems, people like guys like Dynamite Kid doing that diving headbutt off the top rope. Look at a guy who wanted to, follow in his footsteps of Chris Benoit doing that diving headbutt off the top of that top rope. The CTE scan after it's over with, how far his brain has been deteriorated at the end of the day. I'm talking about trying to save somebody's life. I ain't talking about no damn match at the end of the day. So let's just get that straight and move forward.
Hey, I think that you said it beautifully there. And yeah, people conflate those things because recently there's been talk about Kyle O'Reilly going to AEW, which by the way, he showed up on. It's funny, like the whole little clique that Cole had going on in NXT, like one by one, they're moving on over. We had Bobby Fish, now we have Kyle O'Reilly, and of course Adam Cole's there.
And this here before you move forward. And good for Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, man.
Good he's got a job. Good he's going to still be able to continue to do what he loves to do. And more power to him. I'm not going to hate on someone. No, you can't hate on someone having a job and taking care of his family. And if he's happier there, boom, that's even better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But you're just saying if anybody's making their decisions on their future just based on, wouldn't it be awesome to have a match with blah, blah, blah. That's probably that needs to not be the first thing in your mind. But here's the thing. It's not bad if they say, man, I could make more money over here. I could work less dates. Oh, and you know what? I could work a nice little program with blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? If it's like number 3 on the call sheet, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly that point. Yeah.